This is a quick real estate update from Jere Metcalf Partners, real estate agents on the ground in Atlanta. We're talking about what it's like, what to expect, the pros, the cons, and what to consider to align yourself and your loved ones for the best opportunities. All right, JMP, Atlanta, Market Eavesdrop, Bridgett Posey, Adam Vicars, Jere Metcalf. Today we're going to talk about three things. Number one, we are going to talk about the interest rates and what they're doing. Number two, what it's looking like on the ground this week. And number three, how is all of that affecting appraisals? That being said, interest rates are up an 0.8%. Adam and Bridgett have a lot more to say about that than I do. Share with us a little bit about why.
Okay, so yes, the rates went down, went up, what have you, but all in the last week, but really we're not going to talk about it having the effect on it was not an effect from the election. It was actually an effect from the announcement yesterday from Pfizer. Pfizer did announce that they've had a 90% success rate with their new vaccine. So that actually pushed the stock market rate, or the stock market, up 5%. That caused the bonds, that caused then the mortgage interest rates to go up. So if all of this stays the same, we have to basically assume that the mortgage rates will continue to go up. We hope not a lot, for everybody's sake.
It's also putting more spark in the market because people don't want interest rates to keep going up and motivating people to pull the trigger on properties. In the meantime, what's going on the ground? I think we're putting a couple of houses each under contract a week right now, or what's it looking like?
Yep, still got buyers, still have sellers. Honestly, I think a lot of sellers are coming out of the woodwork that maybe we're on the fence, but we'll see. It's yet to be told. Statistically, our third quarter was off the charts. So, is a quarter, what? It was 61% from last year, third quarter.
You're talking about our office or our Sotheby's?
Sotheby's numbers was 60.
Sotheby's numbers are yeah, I think it was 60% overall. I don't have it in front of me. Actually, I do, but it was incredible numbers, record-breaking transactions this year, not just in Atlanta Fund Homes. Week over week, we're doing record-breaking volume, but as well as around the country. Adam, were you going to say anything about on the ground? I think you had something to say about buyers and things that are contract.
It hasn't let up. It's the same that we speak about it every single week, that there's just no slowdown at this point. So still lots of buyers, lots of people moving, lots of people we're finding deals, we're finding them every way we possibly can, but we're finding off market ones, we're getting coming soons, we're finding them. So it's good.
Yeah. Next thing. So we've covered interest rates are going up, things are still moving on the ground, buyers are motivated, inventory is low, a lot of things we're selling and are getting sold off market. Number three, on that is also, there's a little bit of concern. I don't think it's terrible, but there are things to be aware of in the appraisal world. So in appraisals, there are appraisals that are not finding comps that are relevant enough. And so let's talk just for a minute about the solutions to when you've got a property that you're buying and you're concerned about appraisals. How do we address that? And then what do we need to know? That we have a good agent, number one, but number two,
a lot of it is communication with the appraiser themselves, and not in an ethical way. The appraisers are not doing anything. They're by the book, and they have to be. They are very regulated. But by the same token, I think it is a lot of the agent's responsibility to make sure you're communicating.
Well, the appraisers, we have the knowledge. We're in the market. We have the knowledge. We know the comps. We see the comps. Because we're working with the same clients in the same market over and over. These appraisers are not, and they don't have the kind of time we do because they're doing a lot of appraisals for every transaction we do. I'd like to get the stats on that. What are they doing, like 20 appraisals for every one or more for every transaction we do, which gives us the time and more in-depth knowledge of these comps. We talked to an appraiser. What's that?
The ones off market too. They're not always aware.
Mm-hmm. Well, and they've got in on that. So let's talk about that. So on that, the thing to know is right now, houses, it's not like it was in the Great Recession that you're having all of these guidelines that are new and that are a problem. It is the comps and finding them and how to communicate with the appraiser to find them. So number one, if you don't have any comps that are close and recent that are similar enough, there can, now I am not an appraiser, but we've just spoken with appraisers who explained to us that that's where they can make exceptions in the appraisal and explain them to go a little bit further out or to go to comps that are more relevant. And using those relevant comps, the properties have got to be, it's more important. It's not like, oh, well, that property's worse and it just sold for a little bit less money. It needs to be something more importantly, those are help too, but something that's not as nice or nicer selling for more money. That's something that the appraiser we spoke to earlier had pointed out to us. So in addition to that, you guys want to add anything to that about appraisals before we close this out?
No, I mean, that pretty much covers it.
Yeah, I mean, you nailed it.
Agent communication and the appraisers being open to hearing what we have to say, because some aren't.
Exactly. Adam's like Elon Musk. He's just here to say about 3 words and wrap it all up and make sure that he's like, what is it, censoring to be sure we're getting it all right. He'll let us know if it's wrong. You got
it right. You hit all the highlights. It's you nailed it.
Awesome. Well, thanks everybody for listening. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you to our ambassadors and clients for your support of Jere Metcalf Partners, where our mission is to deliver the best service and the best results for our clients' needs, their wants, and their families.